Introduction. The American People's National Party is a nationalist party in the United States of America, whose aim, goal, and desire is to establish a vanguard party that will build a new republic under the democratic people's dictatorship in the American nation. To ensure that a correct line is maintained, that the party effectively communicates to the American race and its organizations our plans, aims, and goals, and to reinforce our statements on American society, our ideology, and general line, we do hereby establish this document as our party program. Our general line. 1. The American People's National Party comes from and represents the American people. It has no interests aside from those of the American people and the Patriots movement as a whole. As such, the party champions and defends the struggle of our oppressed and marginalized people for emancipation and liberation. To that end, the party participates in mass and popular struggles for social justice, peace, and democracy. 2. The American People's National Party asserts that profit under globalism is extorted from the American people and constitutes theft by the European ruling continent. Therefore, modern society is a European dictatorship. Under the nationalist system, the American people will be paid the full value of their labor, less the necessary deductions to support the government and its various cultural, economic, and social support projects. 4. The American People's National Party demands that all nations within the context of the United States, including Native Hawaiians, Choctaw, and Puerto Ricans, be given national self-determination. We call for the end of the Commonwealth system in all U.S. territorial possessions. These nations should be independent countries. 5. The American People's National Party demands the cancellation of all current debt held by the U.S. to European countries. These loans were not made with the intention of helping the people of our country, but rather to enslave our country with debt. 6. The American People's National Party is an anti-imperialist party. We are opposed to all imperialism, wars of aggression, and the machinations and intrigues of globalism. We call for the immediate withdrawal of all U.S. troops from overseas, an end to all imperialist wars, and the promotion of world peace. We stand shoulder to shoulder with all occupied peoples and with all nations living underneath neo-colonial regimes. We call for an end of foreign aid to the European nations, Israel, Islamic states, and other outposts of imperialist aggression. 7. The American People's National Party is a nationalist party. The people of our nation struggle for their emancipation from their systems of exploitation. We extend our hands to all revolutionary organizations guided by American nationalism and to national liberation movements of our exploited people because our cause is one and the same. 8. The American People's National Party demands the U.S. withdrawal from NATO and other imperialist alliances. 9. The American People's National Party stands fully in support of the militarization of the U.S.-Mexican border. It supports the rights of Americans and the ending of neoliberal policies that permit millions of foreigners to cross the border into our land. 10. The American People's National Party has a more generalized list of our demands and positions in a separate document called the Party Platform. Our general strategy. 1. The purpose of the American People's National Party is to combine the patriot movement with the nationalist movement. This is accomplished by winning over the most politically reliable and active movement leaders to American nationalism. 2. The party seeks to cultivate civil leadership by participating fully in those struggles which can mobilize the broad masses against the enemy. The American People's National Party shall incorporate itself into the patriot movement. Protests against war, poverty, social injustice, and any other popular and conservative movements. 3. The American People's National Party aims to establish systems of dual power independent of the ruling globalist system. Power will be built by focusing on the American people as well as the rising generations of Americans, the youth. Mass-based organizations will be the new power in the revolutionary society, guarded by a people's army and led by the party as its civilian leadership. 4. The party will under no circumstances enter into alliances or working relationships which espouse left-wing or progressive views clothed in populist language. 5. The party is led in democratic fashion, meaning decisions are made democratically, and after a decision is reached, the entire party, including the minority and dissenting opinions, are obliged to carry out the will of the majority. The role of the party leadership is to enforce the decisions of the majority and to guide their implementation. 6. The party presently holds that the two major tasks for American nationalists in our country consist of A. Supporting unity in the revolutionary movement, and B. Supporting the struggle against revisionism. These two tasks are paramount for American nationalists because they address the dire need for a united party of the people of the United States, a trend at which all revolutionary forces are converging and which is historically necessary for the final victory over EU imperialism and globalism. These two tasks address the fact that attempts to combine the patriot and American nationalist movement will fail unless the American nationalist movement is devoid of counter-revolutionary factions and is able to articulate a comprehensive anti-revisionist line on revolution and nationalist reconstruction. 7. The unity of American nationalists will occur after we have started what needs to be done. The revisionists will be exposed by refusing to do what needs to be done. We need to build the party through leading the masses, not lead the masses through building the party. The party will come only after we have gone to the masses to serve the people, learn from them, and earn their trust and support. This is the one and only way we will see a revolutionary movement in the country. This is because putting American nationalism into practice comes before even the creation of the Vanguard Party. 8. We support legitimate and justified self-defense as a bulwark against fascist paramilitaries, vigilante cops, organized crime, and other such criminal elements of reaction which pose an imminent threat to our people. It will be impossible for us to make our revolution if we are incapable of defending ourselves and our communities from outright attack. 9. Above all, the American People's National Party shall be where the American race is, wherever people are oppressed because of their national origin, and wherever there is social injustice. Our goals. 1. Establish nationalism in the United States and place all political power in the hands of the American people. 2. All the European-owned means of production, factories, land, machines, and implements, etc., as well as the principal means of the distribution of commodities in the United States, to be placed in the hands of the Americans as public or private assets, with a surplus geared towards the common good. 3. Establish a collective labor contract that will embody the feelings of solidarity that bind together various factors of production. It will harmonize the opposing interests of employers of labor and of workers, subordinating them to the higher interests of production. 4. Government intervention in economic production may take place only where private initiative is lacking or is insufficient, or when the political interest of the government is at stake. This intervention may take the form of control, encouragement, or direct management. 5. Establish a people's state, with all power in the hands of a people's government. The life of the country will be based on democracy, which will consist of democratic participation in economic, political, and social life by the oppressed and marginalized American people. All overseas nations will have the right to self-determination, up to and including the right to secession from our future new republic. 6. Professional and labor organizations shall enjoy complete freedom, but only unions legally recognized and subject to government control have the right to legally represent the whole category of employers and workers for which they are constituted, to defend their interests with respect to the government and other professional associations, to negotiate collective labor contracts that are binding on all members of the category, and to impose dues and to make use of these dues as a function of the public interest. 7. The United States shall observe an isolationist foreign policy which shall respect the sovereignty and self-determination of peoples. The fight for the American people is the force that drives us. Nationalist revolution is the means to our emancipation. Armed with the correct political analysis and a strong resolve, we will struggle forward to victory. With the power of the American people, we have a country to win. Onward towards nationalism.